soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SVG.
It's time for Shakeup on WEFM 99.9.
And it's now 27 minutes onto the hour of 11 a.m. You're locked on to the Clean First Zone with 99.9. Welcome to our Shakeups program for today, Tuesday, the 30th of September. Today's Shakeup scripture reading will take it from Psalms 30, verses 1 to 3. I will exalt thee, O Lord, for thou hast lifted me up, and hast not made my foes to rejoice over me. O Lord my God, I cried unto thee, and thou hast healed me. O Lord, thou hast brought up my soul from the grave. Thou hast kept me alive, that I should not go down into the pit. That was your Shakeup scripture reading taken from Psalms 30, verses 1 to 3. You're locked on to the Clean First Zone, WEFM 99.9. Remember, Shakeup is an interactive program. So the numbers to call 457-9997. The numbers to call again 457-9997. Also to be interactive on WhatsApp, you can call or text as well 457-9997. Today's Shakeup's host will be hosted by no other than Mr. Augustine Ferdinand.
That in fact, if any people we should name it after him. He's done enough. He has done enough. I don't mince my words on these things, you know. If he lost government and we were to complete that, he has done enough. I am not going to take away from him. I drive across Argyle. It is a tremendous amount of work that has happened there. It's almost approaching miracles in some instances, what we have achieved. I'm not underestimating that.
We had an unspoiled country. Today, we have a country where there is an administration that is absolutely listless. They do not listen to the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. They have no tolerance for anybody that has any idea at all, any insight. They brush them aside. And do you know what they do? They go on plowing on initiatives that do not benefit local communities nor the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. I'll give you a case in point. You look at the quarry in North Leeward. Time after time, people rose up and said to this administration, you must rethink your policy with respect to this quarry. And time after time, they have ignored the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and specifically those persons in the constituency of North Leeward. The New Democratic Party is so unlike that. Rather than listening to reason, they go on their merry way. And what you have, the end result is total and utter and indiscriminate deforestation, a scarred landscape, and an ecological disaster waiting to happen. You take, for example, not so far from here, on the eastern coast of your island, our beautiful island, what is taking place in Argyle, off the coast of Argyle. The government is conducting dredging, and dredging is the removal of sand. Well, they have actually redefined dredging, the whole process. Rather than cleaning the ocean's floor, they are essentially taking up sand, removing the sand, and in doing so, they are actually killing out what we call phytoplankton and plankton, which are the fourth stage in the food stage of the sea. And if our fish cannot get those phytoplankton and the plankton to eat, it means that generation down the road will not be able to benefit from fishing. So essentially what the government has done is brag that they were able to negotiate a deal for $20 million. But when you look at the environmental disaster that is waiting to happen, you have to ask yourself whether or not $20 million can compensate for that.
I'm just curious, if you're the NDP, do you think it has any impact on them if the Prime Minister is Ralph or
I think the NDP love being in opposition. I'm serious.
So it makes no difference.
It makes no difference. They enjoy that. They're lazy.
Staying in opposition.
Dr. Friday's a lazy human being. They enjoy being in opposition. I mean, come on, Jesus Christ. I mean, look at these guys. Look at these guys. I mean, really. I've said this a million times already.
Yeah, but I mean, you make statements, but you never back them up with reason.
Okay, you want me to give you a reason? I don't think Dr. Friday is good as a leader in terms of making tough decisions. I think that he's very poor as a leader with regard to making hard decisions. I still don't think Dr. Friday stamped his authority on the New Democratic Party. And that's why
What
I
else? So that's one
said, Dr.
instance
Friday
somebody
do
has
not,
done something.
he does not, and my personal views and I mean, Dr. Friday is like a nice uncle. I like him from that standpoint, but as a leader, I think he's a poor leader.
But you like him as a human being.
Yeah. But he's a poor
Is he
leader.
a better leader than Mr. Eustace?
Oh, Jesus Christ. He talking, don't put the L. This is.
No,
Continue to cry about the firearm license.
We're just asking, sir, on an international front, the one China policy. Why rock the boat? I mean, Taiwan has been good to us.
Very good. Yeah, but the point is this: it's a policy that it's not unique to St. Vincent. You know, the vast majority of countries in the world, that is the position adopted in the UN. That's the position in most countries in the Caribbean. Similarly, it's just simply falling in line with that policy. And when we take a position internationally as well, we do things that we consider to be in the best interest of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And that is the guiding principle that I apply. That's what we're applying.
And yes, Luke, I can tell you that media personnel in this country, many of them are pushing the agenda of China. I can tell you because I was approached. I got a call from a foreign entity through a Barbados number. And this is not no shades. This is not no shades on Barbados, because anybody could get a Barbados digital number. But the call came from a 246 number. I told the caller who speak in Asian accent, their English is in Asian accent via a Barbados number, 246 area code. I told the caller clearly that what I am doing is not for sale in no uncertain terms. You know what the caller did? When they realized that I was serious, they reached out to a certain media house in St. Vincent. And they offered the media house to pay for an early morning slot for me on their media platform. The media personnel told them they would have to run that by me. And they told the media personnel, we have already done that. He's a no-go. The media personnel could come out and back me up if they want to. Because they know what I'm saying is true. They told the media personnel, we already reached out to him and he's a no-go. But we want to still pay you behind his back so that anytime he calls, you take the call. No matter what you got lined up on your program, once he calls, you take the call. And we will pay for the slot. That's how far the foreign entity went. Because they think that what I was doing was somehow pressing their agenda. So this is how far they go. That even after I tell them what I'm doing is not for sale, it's pure patriotism. They still went behind my back and approached the media house and tried to pay for a slot for me. Could you imagine that? So yes, Luke. When I say that, I know what I'm talking about. There are entities out there trying to mess with our democracy. There are entities out there who would rather see the policies of one party rather than the other.
The problem is some people know that these are crooks, but they slip them through because the perks are great. When people have money that is not clean and they want to get into the CBI, the temptation is there for those in authority to override the screening.
But that argument you're using is an argument against the program.
No, it's not against the program. It's against those who are greedy and corrupt.
At what price will you start selling your program from? Not seeing your passport. What price will you start doing your program at? Have you thought about this? So if someone comes to you and says, listen, I do not want to invest into the development bank. I don't want to invest in a hotel project. I don't want to invest. I wish to pay, to write the check to get the country. Yes. Even are you saying you will accept that?
Of course I
will. And how much money will the person have to write this check for?
Every country has the ability to set the minimum.
Have you looked at that as the party determine how much? Because you
watch me, Ben. I know how the program works. I am an engineer. I'm not a finance person.
An opposition is poor. Here how you know an opposition is terrible. Here how you know when an opposition, they don't want the salt that they're getting. When you could be in opposition for 23 years, and yet you're wondering, well, boy, which seat are going to win? I wonder if that. You do not have the power to convince people that, listen, I am the one to put there. And it says a lot about you.
Yes. Good morning, everyone listening to the sound of my voice. I am your host for today's Shakeup Radio program, Augustine Ferdinand. Remember the number to call, 457-9997. That's 457-9997. That's the number that you can call to get interactive with us via landline and also WhatsApp. This morning, I also want to send greetings to those of you abroad listening to us via the internet. Also, those of you listening via Phil in the Market, those of you tuning in via Star FM, and also to the many of you in the comfort of your homes this morning, or on the farm, or on your usual busy schedule, or simply watching us and listening to us live on social media. Yesterday, we had the sitting of Parliament. Had various bills that were debated. Parliament finished about after 11 minutes to midnight, more or less. After midnight, actually, yes. This morning, you can say. And you had the beach vending bill. You also had the bill focusing on digital transactions, or what I would say digital wallets or digital payments. You also had bill focusing on the free movement, as persons will know or may not know, that starting very soon, as of October, the countries, the 4 CARICOM countries, being St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Dominica, Barbados, and Belize, will be facilitating free movement of the nationals, of CARICOM nationals. And part of the discussion yesterday was how do you facilitate that and the different measures to be put in place. I know right here in WEFM, you had from the regional and diaspora unit, Mr. Alan Alexander, who was on the program, Religious and Andayan program here, speaking about that. And in Parliament yesterday, the Prime Minister, even in his contribution, zeroed in on some of the other measures that will be put in place, including contingent rights. And I know at a CARICOM level, it is our very own Prime Minister who pushed for contingent rights of CARICOM nationals. And contingent rights meaning that, let's say, for instance, you, the person listening, is eligible to move freely among CARICOM member states as one of the persons eligible on the Treaty of Chaguaramas, whether being a university graduate, an artist, a skilled professional, and the like. And you have a skill certificate. and you move to another country, CARICOM country, whether it's Barbados, Dominica, Trinidad, etc., that your partner or your husband or wife and children should also be able to move with you as well. So that's where the contingent rights come in that even though they may not be eligible under the regime of being one of the persons meeting the requirements in getting the skill certificate to move freely among CARICOM member states, the mere fact that you have a partner, a husband or a wife, and children, or you could put them on dependents, that they also is eligible to move to that country and also be able to go to school in that country, be able to have access to basic or primary health care, and do things that an ordinary citizen of that country can do. So that's where the contingent rights come in. For those of you who, and good morning to Ms. Harold, who know the discussion on regional integration since the days of West Indies Federation and where that went, can appreciate, even though it's many decades later, more than over half a century, that we are getting somewhere in terms of real integration. And this government, the Unity Labour Party government, is very focused and determined in making sure that this process is as smooth as possible, dedicated to regionalism, and therefore, based on Parliament yesterday, has put that in place so that in the event, process come, these contingent rights are also afforded. And I can tell you that the other member states are doing likewise. So it's not just St. Vincent. The other member states, including Barbados, Dominica, Belize, are doing likewise in facilitating this process. The other, of course, you have the port, and we have to focus on the operationalization of the port. As persons, again, may or may not know that the port is scheduled to be operational by the 25th of October. And this part is phase one of the port project. There are other components to the port project, which includes the other part for inter-island ferry, and that will be located down at Rose Place proper area, which will leave the entire cruise ship berth area free for expansion, which is also a focus of the Unity Labour Party government. But the port project is the first phase that is coming down to that phase where it will be operationalized on October 25th. That's the date. And therefore, you have to get certain things ready. And that was part of the focus as well yesterday. Like I said, the other one is vending. It's not, the government isn't saying that there should be no vending, but it's the regulation of vending on the beach or different beaches that are identified by the state. And you have to do it in a very orderly manner, So that also was done yesterday, and the opposition also contributed and understood the necessity for that. So you had those different discussions, and then you of course had various questions by the opposition for oral answers. And one of the things I was happy about, well, two things actually that came out from parliamentary sitting, other than the nonsense by the MP for Central Kingstown with the back and forth with the speaker trying to be disorderly. It exposes the NDP's lies, one again, which I'll play here for you this morning, and it also exposes their national health insurance plan, which, if anyone listened to the Minister of Finance yesterday, will see that it will place significant burden on your pocket. So I also will focus on those this morning. And I'm not surprised, actually, by the NDP's idea of a national health insurance, because if one can recall, Sinclair Leacock did say that one of the focus is to privatize healthcare. But there's a whole other story, because yesterday again, someone on the other side, the opposition side of the house, said that nobody in the party ever said that. You know, and that is why I talk about it exposes the NDP's lies, you know, and show that you, at the end of the day, cannot trust them. So you have a call. Let me take this call. Good morning, caller.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Well, you all right, Ferdinand?
Yes, I'm good.
Yes, I get a laugh yesterday afternoon. And the laugh I get when the last parliament before this one yesterday, the representative for the Southern Grenadine, he voted against the money to buy the house from Guyana.
Are they right?
To put in the Grenadine.
Yep.
But yesterday now he coming back and asking a question about the same house then.
Are they right? I tell you.
People then should have should get rid of his stick. Because if you vote against these people, then to get the house, because you don't got the house, you don't count somebody people then.
Exactly.
And the people them should don't see that. He ain't no useless for them. He only tell us only want to get the procedure that they get extra.
Yep. I found it quite barefaced of Terence Oliver. But you know, it's that time of the year, and you want to make as if, you know, you really care. So
yeah. So them that the kind of people we dealing with.
Yep.
Kind of politician them. Them only want to get this to put vengeance on like people like me win. And other people who would harass them on radio. If vengeance them want to go this way, you know.
Oh yes.
Okay, you take care.
Thank you, man. Thank you for your contribution. So yes, the caller focusing on the question, I believe, by Terence Oliver in the parliament, where he asked about housing and, you know, the homes that the government will be looking to construct, the prefab homes. Just to give an update on that, while the caller mentioned, the Minister of Housing provided an update based on the question that was asked to him. And he said that 11 homes have already been cleared for immediate construction. You have 5 of those being shipped to, you have 5 units. I'm talking now the prefab being shipped to Union Island. You have 4 earmarked for Myro, and you have 5 pending for Myro, and they're sorting out some land issues there, because, as you know, yes, you may have land, but some persons may have previous ownership, or there's dispute pertaining to who actually own the land. So those issues are also ongoing. Because on one hand, somebody may say, well, yes, I got this land from X, Y, and Z. But then when you actually go and do the research, there are persons who have ownership. So they're sorting out those issues. Plus, you have those who do not actually have ownership of land as well. But the allocation, again, for these houses or these homes came from the very bill. I'm talking about the money to spend to make sure that these prefab homes and other homes are constructed. Came from the very monies that the opposition said they're not going to support and didn't support. As a matter of fact, the MP for Central Kingston, I remember very well, on a platform, said that the NDP would have to be mad to support such a bill. I remember that very well. He said the NDP would have to be mad to do that. But yet, in Parliament yesterday, they had the gall or the audacity to ask question now about homes being repaired and especially homes being constructed from the very monies that they oppose. I'll bring a reminder. Listen to the
3 months before the election is called, they're coming to the people of St. Vincent Greek to ask me to give them another $100 million. I want to drop that here tonight. Ralph Everett Gonzalez and the Unity Labour Party is coming to the Parliament this week to ask for another $100 million. You expect the New Democratic Party to vote for that? You have to be mad. To get that, we must get a new mandate. So, they're trying to tear up foot again. They say $25 million is to fix the sinking port. So, if we ain't giving them it, they're going to say we cause the port to sink. Imagine that. Cummins and Short and Company met about they said they want 47 million of that to fix the houses in Union Island, burial funds.
That's the Vice President of the NDP, Sinclair Leacock. And he said the NDP would have to be mad. But yet, after they don't oppose that, we ain't care about that. They said the people could wait a little longer, wait till after elections and things. Don't bother rush it now. Don't bother look to build homes for them. You could imagine that. And Parliament yesterday, after they already oppose it, as a matter of fact, Terence Oliver vote is recorded because he was one of the persons there that night where he said no. The speaker would ask, how do you vote? Because they actually had the voting individually. And how do you vote? And Terence Oliver said no. The same Terence Oliver now yesterday asking the government about how many prefab homes will be constructed and when will they be completed. And really? After you and your party oppose the funding to construct those homes? Lord have mercy. The Minister of Housing yesterday stated in the House that the supplementary estimates, the very thing that the opposition opposed, which allocated $29 million to housing development program, of which home reconstruction is $12.6 million, came from that. Came from the very supplementary estimates that the opposition voted no. You heard Leacock said you got to be mad. But yet they had the audacity now to make face and pretend they care in getting persons' homes constructed. You know, the good thing about the parliament is that there's something called a Hansard. And the Hansard is where record keeping, what was said in parliament, it's recorded in that Hansard. And Terence Olive, the member of parliament for Southern Grenadines, who is also the candidate for the NDP for Southern Grenadines, voted no for the spending, for the approval and spending of funds to construct people's homes in the Southern Grenadines. Let me take this call. Greetings, caller. Welcome to Shakeup. Hello? All right. That is on record. That is on record, Terrence. And the people will judge you for it. Because you and your colleagues, including Sinclair Leacock, said that you, the people who waiting for your homes to be constructed, that you could wait a little while longer. They need to do it now. You could wait a little while longer. That is how much they care about you. And therefore they will be judged on election day. The Minister of Housing also went on to say that the government has budgeted for up to 300 prefab homes. And let me remind persons that the government has already repaired over 5,000 homes in this country. And the Minister of Housing, Dr. Brewster, very young man, by the way, came up to the ranks of the Unity Labour Party, was president of Central Leeward Youth Arm, now member of Parliament and Minister of Government, very young, is leading the charge of home reconstruction and repair, and is doing well. And he said that the government has budgeted for up to 300 prefab homes. 300. Let me take this call. Greetings, caller. Welcome to Shakeup.
Yeah, back. Greetings.
Yeah, man. Greetings. Good morning.
Yeah. Yesterday, I don't know if I heard that. But Leacock replied to
Leacock?
Yeah.
Leacock. The thing is, Leacock tried to. I mean, I expected it. Because in these fellas' mind, they want to show, they want to pretend as if they somehow can jam the government and put on this bravado that, yeah, they're ready. And I expected that, but he failed. Leacock failed.
But that, I just speak about, I find Sister Ursula a bit leading to Leacock.
Nah, let me tell you, I am happy how they speak. The NDP is very predictable. I remember I told someone that the NDP will try to cause mayhem in the parliament yesterday. Remember, we were getting very close to election, and therefore the NDP is trying to look for any opportunity because they have nothing really going for them. So they want to try and create something to create a buzz for them. Now, if you had, let me tell you what they were hoping, especially Leacock. I believe Leacock was hoping to be thrown out of parliament.
Exactly.
And if you do that, then they will say, oh, you see, the government can't take the heat and the democracy and all of that. I am happy with how the Speaker of the House dealt with Sinclair Leacock. And you know what is even worse about it? There were students, there were children in the parliament that saw that despicable behavior by Sinclair Leacock. He didn't gain anything.
Before he behaved similar and Dr. Denzel had to step in and said, you're rude to the speaker, you're very disrespectful to the speaker. That is what's trying to explain now.
Yep.
They could get them sacked with the Hendrick or John now. Anyhow, that can look smooth.
Yeah, man. Yeah, but I'm happy with how she dealt with them. Because they wanted to create something. Because they realized there's nothing going for them, you know. Nothing going for them. But, like I said, and I replay the cock again, where they said you have to be mad to count on the NDP to support approval of funds and spending of funds to rebuild people's homes. But yet now, the turning around asking question about prefab homes and how many and when they will be completed. The audacity.
3 months before an election is called, they're coming to the people of St. Vincent Greek to ask me to give them another $100 million. I want to drop that here tonight. Ralph Everett Gonzalez and the Unity Labour Party is coming to the parliament this week to ask for another $100 million. You expect the New Democratic Party to vote for that? You have to be mad. To get that, we must get a new mandate. So, they're trying to tear up with foot again. They say $25 million is to fix the sinking port. So, if we ain't give them it, they're going to say we call the port to sink. Imagine that. Cummins and Short and Company met about 4. They said they want 47 million of that to fix the houses in Union Island, burial funds.
Boy, you gotta laugh with them fellas, though. You could imagine at a meeting you talking about sinking port. But anyways, it's now 10 minutes past the 11 o'clock, so we'll take a short commercial break and then resume with the program.
WEFM 99.9.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line it, with the red and white case, show me what you like it. It's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, it's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, with over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
For over 20 years, Cubano Limited professionally delivers top quality products and exceptional service. Located in Sand Hill and Kingstown, we are open Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. We supply animal feed, dog and cat food, animal supplements, a wide range of floral supplies, nursery pots, ground cover and shade cloth, and much more. We also stock a wide range of motor vehicle supplies, including automotive oils, filters for all vehicles, engine coolants, and much more. Email us today at Cubano_1@hotmail.com or call us today 451-2911 or 493-7175. Cubano Limited, professional, top quality, and exceptional service.
St. Vincent and the Grenadines. It's a whole new world out there. Reaching new customers and getting products faster. That's what it's all about. Ocean freight rates are skyrocketing, so don't pay more for slower service. It's time to switch to faster, more reliable air cargo service with SkyMax Cargo. Up to 3 flights weekly to and from the USA, Puerto Rico, and the Caribbean Islands. Providing excellent import, export, and e-commerce solutions to put you ahead of the competition. For special low rates on small packages and air cargo, contact SkyMax today. 784-456-5400. Local agents SwiftPack Interprime Cargo. Call 784-456-5400 to book your shipments today.
You're out, you're living, you're free. The world is calling, but who's watching your home? Life is about enjoying the moment, not stressing over breakings or suspicious activities. Introducing the My Smart Cam from My Smart Toilet Seat. It's an affordable light bulb socket dual camera that's so easy to install. All you need is Wi-Fi and your smartphone. Get your light socket dual camera equipped with motion tracking, night vision, two-way audio, and remote monitoring all from your fingertips. Keep your home and business protected. Don't return to regrets. Secure your peace of mind. Get your My Smart Cam light bulb socket dual camera today. Only at My Smart Toilet Seat, located in the Blue Corner building on Lower Bay Street, or call us at 457-1703. Quick side note, for a limited time offer, buy a 128 gigabyte SD card today and get your free light bulb camera.
Hey, hey. St. Vincent and the Grenadines, are you ready? From October 2nd to October 5th, the Victoria Park will explode with the vibe of the Cannabis SVG Festival. Day 1 and 2, October 2nd and 3rd, it's the opening ceremony, expo, and conferences. Day 3, October 4, Cannabis Facilities Tour by day and the grand reggae concert by night, featuring Spragga Bands.
Moving up the line, now go look behind me, just a head to the top until victory is mine.
Spragga Bands. Also featuring Beanie Man.
Who got the keys to my bimmer? Who am I? The girls them sugar.
Dr. Beanie Man.
Welcome the king of the dance.
Day 4, October 5th, a scenic catamaran cruise to Beckway. It's not just a festival, it's culture, it's wellness, education, and pure bliss. Cannabis SVG Festival 2025, brought to you by the Medicinal Cannabis Authority, Canna SVG Medicinal, and the SVG Tourism Authority.
Let's do this.
That could have been you. An accident that could have been avoided because your tires had almost no grip on the road. Safety is a factor that should never be overlooked when it comes to your car or whatever you drive. SVG Tire Sales and Services in Balls Avenue and in Arnisvale carries a wide selection of quality new tires to fit any car, truck, minibus, or SUV, so you can experience a comfortable and safe commute every time. We are agents for the world's most reliable brands on and off the road, including Kenda Tires, the king of the mountain, Cooper Tires, king of the road and track, Ostone, the king of the outback, and High Fly, the king of the Asian highway. We also carry new tires for light or heavy-duty trucks from MRF, High Fly, and Linglong. A reliable set of new tires keep you, your passengers, and your payload always in the safe lane. So when you need quality tires with reliability at 100%, choose SVG Tire Sales and Services in Kingstown, 457-1467, or in Arnisvale, 456-6444. SVG Tire Sales and Services. Performance and reliability proven when the rubber meets the road.
Whoa.
It's in the feeling in our weak side. It's in the meaning in our spot. It is the thing that sets us apart. Who we are. Cause the rhythm of life keeps pumping. Together going strong. No matter what we keep things flowing. Before we will go all in. Our hands up in the sky. Celebrating. Come let your rhythm flow.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SVG.
My eyes have seen a lot. Births celebrated, loved ones mourned. Through it all, one thing has remained constant: change. And together, we have changed St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the better. We began with an education revolution, giving every child a chance to learn, to dream, to build. Then we connected our nation to the world with the international airport, opening our doors to opportunities. That education and connection have built today's tourism economy, creating jobs and opportunities for Vincentians. It is why our nation is one of the fastest growing economies in the Caribbean. We are building a modern port, a modern hospital, and we have done it all without selling passports, protecting the opportunities for Vincentians. We are educated, we are connected, we are growing. We have laid a very strong foundation. Now is the time to build further. The modern city at Arnisvale, the digitization of our society, building a first world nation, selling not only our beauty, but our knowledge. SVG is rising, opportunities more and more are emerging, and labor is working for all. Join us, and together, we will own the future.
Yep. The party with the plans. The party for the future of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And we have to own that future together. So, they already oppose the funding of home construction. So the people could wait. But the sweet part, also about yesterday, as I said, is that the NDP was so bold-faced. Well, Daniel Cummins in particular was very bold-faced to say that nobody on their team ever talk about privatizing hospital. Let me take this call. Greetings, call. Welcome to Shakeup.
Yes. How are you?
Hello?
Yes, how are you?
I'm good.
Now, if you notice, Mr. Ferdinand, this man, Likakino, in all of his behavior, he never claimed that he sent 112 names. And because they know that they never vote the bill, you notice he never talk about his housing them in his constituency.
No, yeah, no interest in that.
Because he know he didn't vote for the money. But Terrence is like a bare-faced mongoose. Have no belly more like the Molly. The man just have belly like Molly. Jesus Christ. That man went there and have the gall to ask the minister or the booster how many public homes is coming to the Grenadines. After walk away, sleep the whole night and still didn't vote yes and still ask so much homes is coming to the Grenadines.
Come on, man. No shame.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
No shame.
Look, if we make such mistake, Crapo. You ever see Crapo smoke a pipe, Mr. Ferdinand?
And I don't want to see it.
And you don't want to see Crapo smoke a pipe? Wait, listen now. Hear that man presentation yesterday when he addressed the congratulation remarks. Mr. Godfrey Dublin, somebody taking away somebody, woman. That is his credit, you know. That is his carpet that is spreading out for the country. He could not have placed Mr. Dublin better than that. But because he know he got the same pain as anybody, he have to mention that. Oh my God. Wait. Is this incoming ruling people to rule with St. Vincent? Look at the man behavior in the parliament and say they want to represent young people. Young people, what they listening them and watching them.
Yep.
The speaker is asking the man to sit down who you're talking to. It's like the monument where they're behind there we call Iron Man. These are people who place themselves in position even before the law say yes, you're blessed to get in the house. So you could imagine if Friday he gets in, there will be carnival whenever election call, it will be July again.
Bacchanal.
Bacchanal.
Yep. All right, man.
My brother, Jesus Christ, have a good time, man.
Yes, man.
Have
Blessed
a good
love. And that is why it's important that we as comrades of the party and those who want the best for St. Vincent and the Grenadines must go out on election day and vote resoundingly for the Unity Labour Party. But there's more bareface and no shame to come, you know. Because I've played the recording here many times over. Other persons know of it, heard Leacock himself. But in Parliament yesterday, I know the Minister of Finance mentioning just that, the NDP wants to privatize health. Cummins stood up. Cummins said nobody on the NDP team has ever said such a thing. You can imagine that? Nobody. So I want you to play the Cummins video. Yes.
Well, my Speaker, just to state categorically for the record in the Parliament that nobody on this side of the House or ever representing the New Democratic Party has ever made any reference to privatizing health services in this country. So just let those who are dreaming.
And that's something the NDP will have to do. NDP will have to look at, literally speaking, all of the last sets of capital investment by this government and try to sell off some by way of public-private sector partnerships. Starting with the hospital, we have to see if the medical schools can't all take about 5 to 10% equity in that and reduce the tax burden on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and help with the profitability enterprise.
Well, my Speaker, just to state categorically for the record in the Parliament that nobody on this side of the House or ever representing the New Democratic Party has ever made any reference to privatizing health services in this country. So just let those who are dreaming.
And that's something the NDP will have to do. NDP will have to look at, literally speaking, all of the last sets of capital investment by this government and try to sell off some by way of public-private sector partnerships. Starting with the hospital, we have to see if the medical schools can't all take about 5 to 10% equity in that and reduce the tax burden on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines and help with the profitability enterprise.
Well, my Speaker, just to state categorically.
I tell you, Lord Nelson said, boy, you ain't lie. Boy, that is lie. You could imagine that? But it isn't. It is a normal thing, quite normal, easy for the NDP to lie. Let me take this call. Greetings, call. Welcome to Shakeup.
Good morning. Last night I saw when one of my brethren posted what Cummins say in Parliament, and then posted the what these people think that Vincent is like Trump supporters. When Trump get out there and say something on video, and then they play it back, and Trump go out and say it's fake news. It never happened. That's what they're trying to say.
Alternative facts, man.
What they think Vincent has been in a coma and been sleeping for the past 15, 20 years.
I tell you.
They're the one that come talking about privatizing this and privatizing that.
Yep.
Now he going to stand up there in Parliament and with a bold face and going and say they never said that.
Never. Nobody, unless Likake in the NDP or running for the NDP. Never be.
Well, remember, there was the same one that went back that was saying the other day how they believe Likake is a spy for Ralph. So, fellas, have a good day, man.
Oh Lord, thank you very much for your contribution. Lord, have mercy. Play it again for the people to hear. Lord, I tell you, what a time with the NDP.
Well, my Speaker, just to state categorically for the record in the Parliament that nobody on this side of the House or ever representing the New Democratic Party has ever made any reference to privatizing health services in this country. So just let those who are dreaming.
And that's something the NDP will have to do. NDP will have to look at, literally speaking, all of the last sets of capital investment by this government and try to sell off some by way of public-private sector partnerships. Starting with the hospital, we have to see if the medical schools can't all take about 5 to 10% equity in that and reduce the tax burden on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines
and help with the profitability enterprise.
But Master,
All right. Coach, you could call back. Just missed that call. Yes. Yes, caller, greeted.
Good morning. I think that is a back to the future moment.
You know, could you let me just ask you this question? What sell off mean?
That's what I'm saying. That is a back to the future because I clearly hear the man say he's selling off. And now somebody wants to go back to the future to repeat, recreate this statement.
I tell you, I never dull moment with the NDP.
If you tell me you're going to sell off, sell means sell.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't mean buy. It ain't mean kept. It says sell. That means you're going to give it away. And when he said that statement, I had called him and said, people must realize when this thing called sell-off happened, that free access to healthcare that they have, they're not going to have it anymore.
Correct.
That is what coming back to bite them because they now realize that man made a big blunder when he said sell-off. So now they want to clean it up.
Yep.
You can't clean up them kind of things.
Can't clean it up.
You can't.
It's already happened. It's already out there.
The man said he's going to sell. Sell. A matter of fact, the project is not even finished yet, and he don't ready to sell it.
I tell you.
I'm talking about the hospital.
Yep.
The court ain't finished yet, and he ready to sell it. So you can imagine. And so I mean, that's why I have to call it back to the moment.
Yep.
And that's all I can say. Anybody want to remember, go watch the movie Back to the Future. All right.
All right, man. Thank you. You can imagine that. But you know, it's not the first time we catch Cummins in a lie, you know. And assistant remind me here now already line it up. Because it's the same set of people who said we never, ever, ever oppose the building of an international airport. Never. But, didn't they? Let me take this call. Greetings, caller. Welcome to Shakeup.
But, Mr. Ferdinand, he was at a public meeting agreeing with Leacock.
Yes.
I think it was down bottom time they had the meeting.
Yep.
But he was at that meeting agreeing to privatizing these places. So I don't know what is going wrong with them?
Selective amnesia, man.
Had to be. Because you have a tape, they're playing with the man saying what he said. And he said, no, nobody in the party ever said that.
Nobody.
I heard him.
Leacock must be an outsider.
Well, maybe. But I heard him agreeing with what Leacock said at this meeting.
I tell you.
Them want to run countries? Them want to run countries?
Well, remember, you know, the NDP is hoping to win this election on a lie, you know.
And they have to win it at all costs, you know. They have to try and win it at all costs, they're saying. Because you know what? After this, they're dead. So they're doing whatever they can. and embarrassing themselves too. Anyway, them don't know about words. So I guess that's why they do what they're doing. Yep. All right.
All right, then. Thank you. Like I said, it's not the first time you catch them in a lie. I wanted to listen to these. Just listen to this. This is on Cummins and the airport. Wanted to listen to this.
And nobody on the other side has ever, up to today, they cannot convince us. They cannot give us one good reason why they build the airport other than for political purposes. They cannot, because they know the mainland does not have a tourism plant that can cater to international flights. They know that the potential for such development on mainland St. Vincent is extremely limited. They know that the Grenadines has our best mass tourism prospect. They know that
Again, I caution you. Okay. The airport is not a ULP project. It's not an NDP project. It's a St. Vincent and the Grenadines project. I cannot, in good conscience, support anything negative against the building of the airport.
No.
Yeah, but hear me out on this one.
I'm not actually going on a negative line. I'm going on a line. If you put the politician to work, let him go and work and tell the airport to the people.
Yeah, but that is aside. But anybody who wants to contribute, I have no difficulty with that whatsoever. Although it takes time, that's so hard, people can hardly buy bread. But that's another issue. If you love your country, then you have to support.
But what is happening now? Here is the Prime Minister coming to this budget debates and trying for all the world to convince us that the airport coming this year. The airport coming this year. A new attempt to call the election before the end of this year. Listen, not even the party's general secretary by that one.
There's Daniel Cummins. We did us call it a serial liar. Lying 3 teeth. And now we lying again. Nothing new. Same old. That is the modus operandi of the NDP. Just lie. And they hope that you and I will swallow it. That's what they hope, that you and I will swallow it. It's the same lie they perpetuated about passport. You notice you hardly hearing them talk about CBI? Hello? You notice that? When I say them talk about CBI and selling passports. As a matter of fact, when last you really heard about revenue from the sale of passports, even from other Caribbean countries? Didn't I tell you all that as we come nearer and nearer this thing coming to the end? But they told you, and they're still trying to see whether you will swallow it, that we can sell how much? Thousands of passports and make billions of dollars. Now, help me understand this part. We heard Leacock said that the NDP will have to sell off a lot of state assets to save money, right? But if you tell me you're going to make billions of dollars from selling passports, then why do we need to sell off a lot of state assets, including hospital, to save money? Hello? That makes sense? Ah, boy, things that make you wonder. Greetings, call. Welcome to Shakeup.
Come in. Hello?
Yes, greetings.
The one with Mr. Cummins, where you say, unless you in consulting, the vote will not be here.
Oh, Lord, all right, then. I'm going to get that for you. Lord, it's good to know that you, the listeners, remember these things. It's good to know that, because the NDP is hoping that we forget. They're hoping that we forget and that they lie their way into office. That's what they're hoping for, You know, the NDP don't go in details, Anybody could say, I go and create jobs, or we want to make sure that everybody can make good money. Anybody could say that. But when you ask the how question, that's another thing. When you ask the how question, that is another thing. You don't get it. And that's what they're hoping you don't ask. How? Where? When? They're hoping that you don't ask those questions. They're hoping that you just swallow it. Swallow the rhetoric. Swallow the lies. And nothing else. That's what they're hoping for. Just like how Cummins say, they never said that putting into privatizing healthcare. Play it again. You have to remind the people.
But Madam Speaker, just to state categorically for the record in the Parliament that nobody on this side of the House or ever representing the New Democratic Party has ever made any reference to privatizing health services in this country. So just let those who are dreaming.
So, and that's something the NDP will have to do. NDP will have to look at, literally speaking, all of the last sets of capital investment by this government and try to sell off some by way of public-private sector partnerships. Starting with the hospital, we have to save the medical schools, can't all take about 5 to 10% equity in that, and reduce the tax burden on the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and help with the profitability enterprise.
Well, my Speaker Justice.
Yeah. But yet they tell you, vote for them. Could sell thousands of passports, make billions of dollars, and do all the things in this country. Everything. But still, they also say that they have to sell off state assets to save money. But I'm reminded that just recently Grenada borrowed over $700-something million to fund the budget this year. St. Kitts borrowed and signed an agreement also with some other countries for $1 billion, access to $1 billion. And then you wonder why they ain't talking about CBI much. But we'll take a short commercial break and then resume with the program.
And just a reminder from the Central Water Sewage and Authority, the CWSA wishes to advise its customers residing in the following communities of a disruption to their water supply as a result of blocked dam at the Montreal water source. So the areas are Acres, Belvedere, Burnham, Brighton, Calder, Calder Ridge, Carapan, Cabrera, Caruth, Chapmans, Choppins, Collins, Diamond Estate, Diamond Village, Dumbarton, Enhams, Evesham, Evesham's Vale, Freeland, Glamorgan, Glenside, Greggs, Harmony Hall, Hopewell, Julie Gutter, Lacroix, Lauders, Lomans Winwood, Maroon Hill, McCarthy, Mesopotamia, Mount Pleasant in Mespo, Newgrounds, Prospect, Ratamil, Rubishi, Richland Park, Riley, Rivulet, Sayers, Smith Village, Southwood, Stinking Tree, Victor Village, and Yambu. Our technical terms have been dispatched at a actively working to resolve the issue to resolve the water supply as quickly as possible. The CWSA apologized for any inconvenience caused, and that was a reminder from the Central Water Sewage and Authority. It's now 20 minutes on to the hour of 12 p.m. I'm going to take a short step and pay some bills and return to the Shakeups program. Please stay tuned.
WEFM 99.9.
The flavor nice, it's locally made. Affordable price, Lord, up to $3 retail. When you see we line it, with the red and white case, show me what you like it. It's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, it's cigarette from Empire. Holdings Limited, with over 60 years experience. Hold the best tobacco, best ingredients. Yeah. This is your boy Lou to say, support local, buy your cigarettes from Empire Holdings Limited. 10 cigarettes in a pack for up to $3 retail. Remember, smoking is not for minors.
Whether you're ripping it up on the highway or taking a casual Sunday drive, OT Tire Limited is second to none when delivering excellence at reasonable prices. We offer new and used tires, tire repair and installation. We are the only place that offers nitrogen, which helps with gas consumption and ride comfort. Supplying you with brand name tires like Maxxis, Kumo, Good Ride, Westlake, and Triangle.
Boom! Enjoy the VIP style customer waiting lounge with refreshments and free Wi-Fi. You know what I'm saying, yo? This is Skinny Fabulous, and when it comes to tires, nobody makes it easier than OT. Got me run the road. When the OT car tire.
Follow OT Tire on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter today.
Hey, boom, run the road with OT Tires.
Justin at OT Tire, 265 5015, new and improved Grip Max tires, perfect for passenger vans. Get your set of 4 today for only $1,900. Don't miss out. Visit us now.
At Lynch Caribbean, yes, we offer comprehensive insurance solutions and broking. But we are more than an insurance broker. We drill down to your core business strategy We keep a pulse on risk to keep your operations healthy.
On your mark, get set.
Along the way, helping you to drive competitive advantages. At Lynch Caribbean, we have your back. Contact us today for insurance solutions, strategic risk advisory, and more. Call 453-3300. Email info@lynchcaribbean.com or visit our office in Beachmont, Kingstown. Follow Lynch Caribbean SVG on Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn, or visit www.lynchcaribbean.com.
I dream I carry Michael Jackson to Kendra's yard sale. And when Michael starts sitting, he ball out. Yeah! And then the man drop down. Yeah, heaven sweet. But trust me, Michael won't come back for this one. Friday and Saturday, October 10th and 11th. It's on at Kendra's Aluminum Products Factory Compound, Camden Park. And you know, the price is low on aluminum windows, metal doors, wooden doors, P-trap, S-trap toilets, base basins with pedestals and cabinets, vanities, bathtubs, kitchen sinks, built-in oven, hot sets, automatics, sliding and swing gate opener, kitchen appliances from Jake's Kitchen, and so much more. What sweetness! Gates open at 8 a.m. Come through Friday and Saturday, October 10th and 11th. And don't surprise if you see Michael Jackson in the crowd.
WEFM 99.9, home of quality programming. A source of reliable news and information. Home of legendary voices and music. WEFM 99.9, the clean first sound. Visit us online at www.999wefm.com or call 457-9994. WEFM 99.9, the clean first sound.
99.9, the heart and soul of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. WEFM is SVG.
My eyes have seen a lot. Births celebrated, loved ones mourned. Through it all, one thing has remained constant: change. And together, we have changed St. Vincent and the Grenadines for the better. We began with an education revolution, giving every child a chance to learn, to dream, to build. Then we connected our nation to the world with the international airport, opening our doors to opportunities. That education and connection have built today's tourism economy, creating jobs and opportunities for Vincentians. It is why our nation is one of the fastest growing economies in the Caribbean. We are building a modern port, a modern hospital, and we have done it all without selling passports, protecting the opportunities for Vincentians. We are educated, we are connected, we are growing. We have laid a very strong foundation. Now is the time to build further. The modern city at Arnesville, the digitization of our society, building a first world nation, selling not only our beauty, but our knowledge. SVG is rising, opportunities more and more are emerging, and labor is working for all. Join us, and together, we will own the future.
Yep. Together, we will own the future. This is the party with the plans and the programs to take St. Vincent and Grenadines to the next step. Let me take this call. Greetings, caller. Welcome to Shakeup.
Hi, Mr. Ferdinand, have you got any feedback to this about the movement of people from any of the other islands, Belize, Dominica, Barbados? Have you all got any feedback from any of these people concerning the movement that was passed yesterday?
Well, I read some articles out of Barbados and also some comments. One in particular was written by Dr. Justin Robinson, who by the way is a Vincentian, but lived and lectured in Barbados for a while. He's now the head of the UE campus, Five Island campus in Antigua. They're positive.
I see.
A lot of CARICOM nationals on a whole, I know. I mean, the first time they were a bit resistant, but given the age you are living in where persons want to freely move about, try new things, new career. Also some countries where you have scarcity of certain skill set. They are more receptive now than before. The only country I believe where there are some hesitancy, in particular, you have Antigua and you also have Bahamas. And I know from inception, Bahamas is one of those countries, and also Antigua, where they had objections to the treaty itself in terms of focusing on free movement for nationals. One being, of course, with Bahamas, they're more focused on Haiti issue, because remember, Haiti is also part of CARICOM, and they're neighbors. And for Antigua, they're already saying, well, they have an open immigration policy, and in their country, they have a lot of immigrants as well. So there are some hesitancy there. In terms of Trinidad, there are also some hesitancy in that regard. But other islands,
But what about the one between
welcome.
Belize, Barbados, St. Vincent, and Dominica?
That is fine. There's no major issue there in terms of from the people, the population itself, based on the articles I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks very much.
No problem. So yeah. But in Parliament, again, we're talking about shame, no shame, and where the NDP continues to lie. Now, because the NDP really deep down know that they want to privatize healthcare, they came up with this thing about national health insurance. Because the reality is that once you privatize healthcare, the costs will go up. The cost for a lot of things. The cost for medical services, the cost for medications from public health facilities, including the major hospital, will go up enormously because you're now having to pay market costs for a lot of the things. And therefore, the NDP felt that introducing a national health insurance may somehow help, to buffer that cost so that people would be able to afford these things at market price, in my estimation. But the Minister of Finance, in responding to a question in Parliament yesterday, actually showed how that would not actually happen, and where we here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we're already paying affordable costs for a lot of medical services and even supplies. So I want you to listen to the Minister of Finance, Honorable Camilo Gonzalez, below, the last one. Yes.
The honorable member, in shouting across, made fun of my use of the word affordable, Madam Speaker. I have here, again, anticipating that outburst. Some of the user fees, I can't read them all, but I want to give some, because the fiction that is trotted out here is that we're charging a whole set of money for care. Unaffordable. Too much money. So I asked the Honorable Minister of Health and members of the Ministry of Health for some information. Tell me how much it costs, Madam Speaker, to deliver a baby in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Normal delivery. Well, you've delivered babies, so you're probably the wrong person to ask, Madam Speaker. But as someone who has not, and I know that many others do not know, normal delivery, labor room, public cost, any guesses? $30. Those of you listening from the US, it costs you $11.11 US to deliver a baby in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Major surgery. Major surgery. Public cost, 100 Eastern Caribbean dollars. Intermediate surgery, $75. Minor surgery, $40. Affordable? Fillings in your teeth, $20. A vial of insulin, which costs $98 in the United States of America, costs 20 EC dollars in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And President Joe Biden, former president, put special legislation in place to reduce the cost of insulin for vulnerable people in the United States to $35 US dollars. That is 94 EC dollars. We are $20, Madam Speaker. A biopsy is $30. A pap smear is $10. $10. Dialysis is free. Dialysis is free. And if you are a child or a senior citizen, your services are free in this country, Madam Speaker. The Honorable...
You hear that? That's the cost. And dialysis is free. The point the Minister of Finance was making is that the route of the government, the policy of the government is way better than what you're proposing. Because healthcare is affordable and we don't have to privatize our healthcare. We don't have to, as Leacock says, sell off public healthcare. The NDP, on the other hand, as much as they want light through the teeth now, they are planning to sell off healthcare, introduce national health insurance, which, by the way, as the Minister of Finance highlighted yesterday, will place more pressure and burden on your pocket, because it will be similar with the deduction from NIS. You would have to think about even another 16% on top of that out of your pocket for health insurance. Yeah? Because of the cost. One of the other things I say is what would happen to those who are not in the system, those who are unemployed, those who are vulnerable. But the NDP don't care about that. They don't care about that. The policy of the government, the direction, is way better than what NDP is proposing, because it makes healthcare affordable for you and accessible for you, no matter your economic class. And these are the things that we have to think about as we get closer and closer to that date. And as the Minister of Finance mentioned, and you know it too, once you are elderly and once you're a child, there's no cost. No cost. I always say healthcare in this country is heavily subsidized by the state, by the government of this country. And what the NDP's plan would do is place more pressure on your pocket and increase the cost of health care and coverage enormously for you and your children and your elderly ones. But as we get down to the end of the program and we talk about lies and all of that, at the end of the day, election is all about trust. Leadership and trust. Who do you trust to deliver for you? Who do you trust in keeping the promise to you? And who do you trust to be able to call on in challenging and difficult times. Those are the things that you normally think about. Not just in voting a government, but even in terms of who we choose as friends or partners, loved ones. It's all about trust. And what this government said that it will deliver, it is delivered. The government of St. Vincent and Grenadines saw this country through a lot of challenging times. For this term alone, pandemic, volcanic eruptions, Hurricane Elsa, Hurricane Beryl, in one term, fed people, clothed people, housed people, income support to folks, while at the same time building bridges, repairing roads, building homes, repairing homes, providing scholarships, providing jobs, attracting investments, record economic growth. Trust me, excellent report card. Promise those who didn't want to take the vaccine and chose to leave the workplace that they can reapply and be rehired. And many persons took advantage of that opportunity. And their pension benefits and everything kept intact. While the NDP, they promised $100,000 in bursaries. They promised they'll be there for the people most affected by Beryl. They promised to raise funds and provide material assistance to those in need since Beryl. And up to today, nothing. I wanted to play that to remind people as we live here on the program. Up to today, yes, the one in the middle, nothing. Take a listen.
This is a national disaster. It requires a national response, which means that all of us have a part to play in it. By any measure, Hurricane Beryl is a disaster. We, as a political party that represents a majority of the people in this country, the people look to for answers and for assistance, fulfilling our duty as part of our systems of government, our structure of government, that we have put forward these 4 initiatives. One is that we will provide bursaries, a total amount of $100,000 in back-to-school bursaries to assist children directly affected by the hurricane disaster. Next 2 or 3 months, children, parents will start turning to getting their kids back to school, back to their future. We also would receive donations, for example, through a GoFundMe initiative to raise funds for assisting with supplies and rebuilding of homes and businesses. This is a national.
We said rebuilding homes and businesses too. More work. And that is since last year, July. Nobody called on Friday to do it now. But he said what? They have a responsibility. Well, up to today, the 3 months passed last year, a whole year done passed. We now basically going into October. Not even a nail or screw. Much less than $100,000. But yet, they tell you, trust me, believe what I tell you, believe what I promise you, and vote for me. That's what they tell you. Now, having heard that, how can you trust such people to deliver on what they say? Ladies and gentlemen, I leave you with that